Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we talk about 2 to 3 interesting tech topics in the news, give you a cool library fact, and get you on your way in 15 to 20 minutes. This week, we have a really fun guest, Vonda Bryant from out at Adult Learning Services. And how many other things do you do, Vonda?
Well, greetings. I'm Vonda. I am the library literacy person. So I'm the learning services coordinator. So I'm responsible for English classes, citizenship classes, Korea Online High School, all literacy, Spanish classes, Italian classes. I am really responsible for about 30 library staff who coordinate literacy programs in the library. So anything you need to know about learning, they're there to help you.
And Vonda is the person to go to if you have questions about what to do. We're at the end of the show. We're going to show you some specifics she's got cooking up right now that she's going to make sure that you get a chance to get into. But she is the person. When you think libraries and reaching out to everybody in the community, Vonda is the person behind the scenes making that happen. So I'm really happy that you're here to share with us today, Vonda. Let me
Thank you.
share our my browser here and get us started. The first story today, by the way, if anybody's questioning because you know you've been on the show before, we're not covering the space stuff. That'll be next week because everybody's still up in space. They're not coming back until the weekend. We'll cover it when they come back. Um, our first story is all about spiders. How do you feel about spiders there, Miss Fonda?
I don't have a problem with spiders as long as they're not on me.
I thought this was really interesting when they found this in particular. This one spider family got caught up in amber. Everybody should be familiar. Tree sap that hardens, that becomes amber. And
So beautiful.
yeah, isn't it? And
It's really
here's
beautiful.
some up close pictures of that kind of stuff. It turns out these spiders have been living and taking care of their young for hundreds of millions of years, continuing along all this whole time. Charlotte's Web was real. They really are out there taking care of stuff, huh?
Well, the good thing is that they're taking care of their young. We don't think that of animals. We kind of think, oh, the mother of this person or the mother of that person is always taking care of their kids. But animal mothers do the same thing. They take care of their own. They make sure that they protect them, they feed them. And this is what's been going on for millions of years, is
Yeah.
what it's showing us here in this article.
Over a
Yeah.
100 million years that they've been doing. Now, to be clear, this one species of spider that they found is obviously not still around. It has gone extinct, long, long time ago. But it was great to be able to find this stuff. And these always pop up in my story sometimes because I'm looking at how they do the research and some of the microscope stuff that they're using and able to get inside of a spider that's frozen in amber, petrified, and then go in and actually see parts of her anatomy to see what was going on inside. Just makes me, it's always fascinating to me. So much fun.
It is very fascinating. And the behaviors are frozen. So them
Uh-huh.
taking care of their young, feeding their young, making sure that they're well, you can detect that after so many millions of years. That's what's amazing to me,
Yeah. Isn't
that
it
it's
fun?
been frozen in time, kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah.
In 3D, we get to see it because of the technology we have today.
Yeah. It's great. Part of that, that's a great segue. Thank you there, Miss Fonda, is woolly mammoths. Now, this is normally, if this was a story that I saw in my feeds, I would just be like, yeah, 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 this is cool, but I can't talk about it. Except these guys actually got their funding and they're starting. And they're now talking by 2025, we might have mammoths walking around again. Now, to be clear, these are not real prehistoric mammoths. These are new modern hairy elephant types, I guess. But yeah, 2027 using CRISPR to do this. Do you think we should be doing this, Wanda?
Well, I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm
You
going
can
to
you can
say
have an
we
opinion.
have
You can
to
say
be.
yes.
Well, I want to say that it's something that only scientists would know how safe it would be.
There you go.
I
That's
don't
a good
feel
idea.
comfortable myself recreating something are creating something that has not been on this planet for 10,000 years and kind
Yeah.
of putting it out and in the environment and thinking that it's going to survive. That's the thing that troubles me, is that if it's going to survive, because it has so much of the genetic makeup of something that was here many, many years ago when we didn't have all the things that we have now. So that would be my concern. If the scientists who are the experts at it and they feel that it could be safe and successful, then I support them.
Yeah.
But it's something that I would not feel comfortable unless there was enough information that said, okay, they can survive. Or if it says that, okay, may have a 10% chance of surviving or 20% chance of surviving, I would think that that's not a good idea to try and recreate this animal.
Yeah. And I think, and one of the things that's a sidelight of this technology, and I just brought that part of the article up here, is that they plan on doing this to help create like artificial wombs, all those other technology things that would help all sorts of different species, help humans, help everybody survive, be better, be able to carry on and do some really advanced medical stuff, which is really nice. And you're right, like right as they mentioned it here, this is not not an idea about doing Jurassic Park and putting
Yeah,
it
it's
up as a
not for
tourist thing.
entertainment.
Yeah,
It's only for the benefit of
yeah,
animals and humans and our environment. And when I read into that, that was enough for me to say I support it, but I just want to make sure that we're not creating something that's destined for failure or
yeah,
destined to die, you know.
yeah.
So
And that's part of the idea. Is it because this is not a species that went extinct because of man. Like there are
it's
several
just
species, I mean, in recent times, dodos, etc., that have gone extinct. Hundreds of species gone extinct that maybe we should be trying to bring those back if we could, because it's all human effort that took them out. Yeah, this is one of those interesting ones that's slightly on edge, but like you said, they seem to be doing it for the right reasons and not to be exploitive about it. So
right, right.
we can hope.
But it's something to look, we got to, stay on top of it and look at it for the future
Yeah.
because that's something that I'd like to know more about.
Oh, 100%. And I think that that's something, you know, along the lines of that long-term space travel. This is what you need to be able to have if you're traveling outside of the solar system and you're going to be on a spaceship for 100 years. You're going to need this technology to help the people on that ship. So this is
Right.
developing it in one way and then using it in another way later on.
This is true. Do it in a little bit at a time, baby
Yeah.
steps.
Let's try and be safe about it and not
Yes.
just create dinosaurs that rampage everywhere.
Right.
I think I've seen a movie about that. Um, the final story today. This is probably one of the most complicated ones we've ever tried to talk about. On the surface, it's really easy. It takes your speech, and all you need is about a half hour of speech from any person, and you can make a clone using artificial intelligence that can speak in that person's voice.
I'm not
Is
totally
this
against this.
well, this is the issue. This is one of those things where you can recreate somebody's voice from the past that we have a recording of.
Right.
Like my grandfather. I've got tons of reel-to-reel tapes of him, both as a youngster and as he got older, and I could recreate his voice. And I could and have him talk, but I don't have anything in that he's written or anything to have him speak out about.
But you could um, use that in other ways. I don't
Uh-huh.
have any grandchildren, but imagine if we had grandchildren and we had our grandparents' voice telling stories
Yes.
about our family and about situations, and they could tell those same stories to our children, our grandchildren. That would be amazing to me
Yeah.
to hear
And keeping
those
up
voices
that
again.
right.
Yeah,
The whole, on, storytelling traditions, the whole carrying on those family tradition things. This would make it
oral history.
amazing to be doing. Yeah, that oral history. Um, the flip
The other
side
thing that
is,
I think it could
yeah.
benefit is our English language learners.
Hmm.
They could hear stories read in a native English language and listen to it. It's like listening to an audiobook,
Yep.
but it could be maybe somebody who is their tutor who had to go away for a while or is not able to tutor them this week. They can just listen to a recording of them and practice their speech.
Yeah.
So I can see how, and a lot of students, believe it or not, they just want their tutor. They don't want a fill-in or a substitute. They only want to talk to their tutor, and they want
I've
their
been
tutor.
that person there. Like here, I'm substituting for English Cafe today, and they do not like me.
It's something like that, where they
Yep.
don't want anybody else. They're so into their teacher, the way their teacher sounds, their mannerisms,
Yeah.
and um, the way that they present is very easy for them to learn. We all learn differently. So I think this
Hmm.
could be a great benefit to English language learners.
Yeah. And then the flip side to it is who's in control. And
Yeah.
as always, all these articles will be in the show notes, so don't worry about that, folks. You can always go follow up and read the entire full article on it. But the part I got highlighted here on the screen, Anthony Bourdain, when they did his biography, there were some emails he wrote, but he didn't ever say those words out loud to a camera or to a microphone. And they used this technology to duplicate his voice and then have that voice read the content of those emails out loud as they were looking at scenery or watching him do something else. And so that may or may not have been something that was used for good. Another example, there's another actor, Val Kilmer, who his voice doesn't exist anymore. His voice box, he just can't physically speak. But because of this, um, he actually has a machine that can use his regular real voice. Like
And that
Stephen
will work
Hawking
too.
had that computerized one.
Yeah, that will work for stroke victims who lose their voice. I have a
Yeah,
friend whose her father hasn't spoken in about 10 years since he had his second or third stroke. He lost his voice, but they have a lot of recordings of him singing and doing other stuff from many years ago. And that will be perfect for him to say what he has to say instead of him
yeah,
always waving his finger and
uh-huh.
pointing.
See,
He'll be able
that
to
is.
actually
See,
speak his
you've
words
got
and use his
you've
own
got
voice.
lots of great reasons to use this to keep this around and keep using this.
Yeah,
Of
there's a lot of
course, there's
positive.
yeah, there's the
Yeah,
scary part about it since all
yes.
you need is a recording of it, and I personally have probably hundreds of hours worth of sound out there of my voice. So yeah, anybody could take and create something using my voice and then try and imitate Bob. Not sure you'd want to, but yeah, it is kind of a thing of how do we the old saying, you'll believe it when you see it. Only believe what you can see with your eyes. And we all know photos are getting faked, and now voices are getting get faked. It's an interesting concept that we all have to just adjust to living in this new world.
It is. It is. I want to see the good in it because I also think about children who are born and they never get to meet their mother because
Yeah,
women die. Many women die in childbirth, and they'll be able to hear the voice of a soothing mother as a part of their infancy. I
yeah.
think that's a blessing to be able to offer that. So I see a lot of good, although I know there are some negatives.
I'm happy to have you here, Vonda. You're finding all the good stuff for us today. This is awesome. I do want to get one quick shout out here for a library website thing. Is redistricting. Everybody here should know that the census is over. We all have the results. Your information matters where you live. You need to participate. Go to broward.org/redistricting and you can, there's a short video to watch there. FIU is going to be getting feedback. You'll find out there on the page about how you think the individual lines in Broward County should be redrawn for your 9 commissioners. This is something that affects you personally much more than any state or federal, redistricting thing or elections. This is your local person who over 2/3 of your tax dollars are going to go to this one person here. You need to pay attention to that. That being said, Vonda, you've got something really else cool here. So I'm going to bring it up. When you come to online resources, you go to Broward.org and you go in through the library page and you come to the online resources. There is a whole section of stuff, and Vonda was mentioning at the beginning. Tell us, Vonda, what's going on with this Career Online High School?
Carolina High School is a high school diploma for folks 19 and older who do not have a high school diploma. I know many of you may not have one, or many of you may have a high school diploma, but everybody knows somebody who does not have one. We have 8 scholarships left, and I have to give them out by the end of this month. Please go to the site or send the person to the site to complete the survey, and I'll get back to them as soon as possible. We've had 145 people to receive their high school diploma in Broward through this program at no cost. It's a completely online program, and if they can do it, you can too.
It's an awesome service, doing it totally free for everyone in the county.
Right.
Any, well, is it restricted to just Broward County residents?
Broward County residents with library cards in good standing, 19 years of age or older, and even an e-card is good enough. So if you don't want to come into the library, get your e-card online and get started with Career Online High School. This program is free, and we have 8 scholarships left. The sooner you get started, the better. And if you have any questions, you can contact me at cohs@broward.org, or you can call me at 954-357-6230.
That's an awesome. It's a great service. And what else? Because Vonda, you've been in charge of Project Welcome now for almost 2 years. Tell us about how that's been going along for that.
Well, lately we haven't been doing much with that because of COVID. We were not able to market the program and try and encourage people to come in multiple languages. Our goal with Project Welcome was to reach people where they were, whatever language you spoke, whatever situation you were in, to let you know that the library is here for you. And I can say that now in English to everybody. Go to our website. We have a plethora of programs: English classes, citizenship classes, Spanish and Italian classes. We have programs for children and adults. Everything you need is online right now, and soon we will be doing in-person programming in October.
Yeah, October 1st, in-person programming officially starts again at the libraries. Pay attention, broward.org/library/events. Will get you all the information that you need to know which events are going to be online, which ones are going to be in person, and which are going to be hybrid programs that you can attend. A lot of the book discussion things and a lot of the English Cafe stuff is going to stay online for people, isn't it?
Well, it's going to stay online, but we're also going to be moving in person with the citizenship classes and English classes. We're going to start at the regionals and flagships. That's the 30,000 square feet. So we're going to have about 3 or 4 libraries. We'll do citizenship classes, 3 or 4 libraries in October, and then we're going to transition every month, excluding December. We're going to add a few more of in person just to see how it goes. But we're excited about seeing you coming back to the library. We
Yeah,
miss you.
and just free citizenship classes, folks. I mean,
Yes.
if you know someone in your life who is not a U.S. citizen who wants to be, that is a huge savings. Some of those courses out there cost is just insane costs, and you can come to the library and do this all for free. And
Okay.
all of the other language classes, all of the other things. I mean, Vonda is involved in making sure you will get your educational stuff done for you there.
And
She's the
it's
person to
no
know.
cost to you. No cost to you.
Thank you so much, Hassan. I don't even think I mentioned which library are you based out of for everybody.
I'm based out of the African American Research Library, but I also have a little corner spot if I needed to at Main Library.
We will always welcome you back home.
All righty. Thank you so much, Bob, for
Oh,
having me. I was having some anxiety,
anytime.
but it happened. It worked out really
Oh, come
well.
on. This is easy. Thank you for being here, Miss Fonda. And
You
again,
made it my
everybody,
way. All
welcome to,
right.
come on back to Tech Talk next week. If you have any stories that you want us to share, creationstation@broward.org. Or if you have your own favorite librarian like Fonda, send it to me, creationstation@broward.org, and we'll try and get them on. We'll
All
see
right.
you all
Thank you.
next week.
Bye.